Badger Beer special report. I'm here with Jen Radloff of Badger State Brewing, y'all. And we were talking about, I want to talk to Jen about the NFL draft and the preparations that Badger State and the other brewers, well, specifically Badger State, are doing to prepare for the NFL draft, which is the last weekend, I believe, in April up in Green Bay. And if I'm wrong, Jen can definitely tell me. Hi, Jen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. So it was announced. It's been like a year and a half, right? That the NFL announced that the NFL draft would be in Green Bay. And what was y'all's initial reaction?
I think like, oh, whoa. Let's figure out what's gonna happen here. I feel like it's been like a wait and see up until finally we got to like this past summer. Then it was like, all right, this is actually happening. Like, everybody jump on board this crazy ship and let's make sure we make the best of it.
Yeah. So obviously y'all's proximity to the festivities is the number one thing where I want to start. Can you visualize that for us, especially for your people who are familiar with Badger State?
Yeah, we're so fortunate with where we are located in proximity to the stadium, to Lambeau itself, and to where kind of the draft party is going to be happening. You can walk out our front doors. So if you walk out of our tap room doors after enjoying a nice beer and you're heading to your car and you turn and you look to the right, you can see beautiful old Lambeau right in the distance. We are we're one Chicago block and like 3 suburban blocks from the stadium.
Mm-hmm. And then the draft festivities are right under or right in where the festivities with relation to Lambeau.
Yeah, so the festivities are going to kind of be all around Lambeau. So there's 2 different sides of Lambeau that in Green Bay we kind of refer to. We've got the Titletown district that is going to be on the far side. And then we've got the Stadium district, which is where we are. So we are going to be right outside of the draft footprint. Literally on our street will be a entry exit point for the draft experience. So you have to walk by us anyway. You may as well come in and have a drink.
Jen, with the influx or with the NFL draft being so close to Badger State, how's the brewery been preparing for the influx of viewers?
Yeah. Our goal at the end of the day is to try to be able to facilitate allowing as many people as we can to enjoy our facility. So our main goal was, how do we open up our space? Our space we're very fortunate. It's very massive. It's just part of it is an active working brewing facility. And how do we bring people in there, keep them safe, keep everything safe? So what we're doing is, along with our normal tap room that our regulars and people that have visited us before are familiar with, we're going to have our outdoor beer garden, which is normally an open air space, but we are getting it fully tented, heated and lighted because it's April in Wisconsin, and who knows, there may be a snowstorm. From there, you can go right into our tap room through our glass garage door that'll be open. That'll lead you into our brew house, and you're going to be able to go in there for some standing room and additional seating. We're bringing in a lot of different partners from around Wisconsin. So Jay Henry, Paulo Popcorn, Ron's Cheese, Drink Wisconsinably. Some of those vendors will be stationed outside in our parking lot. So you can go and shop with them or sample stuff, or you can go into our brew house and try some of their things as well. You can keep going in the brew house to our original space that we brewed out of when we first opened our doors, which is our pilot room. We're converting that into a bar so that there's additional service space. We've got 6 draft lines in there. So you can grab a drink in there, make your way back out to the beer garden to enjoy our live music, make your way to the parking lot. Or if we are not having a private event that day, we'll have additional overflow seating in our large event hall, which is the Barrel House.
Y'all can see this is their grand space that they have here. It's a beautiful, wide, wonderful space. If y'all Is anybody in Wisconsin need a good place to have a wedding? Look at that. I mean, it's perfect. We're not here for that, but that picture, I could not say anything without the grandiose of that, and that feel is really nice. And y'all will have it decorated for the NFL draft and all that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
This is also good. It's a really good time to remind y'all that Badger State does have this facility year round outside of the draft. So please contact them if y'all are interested in that. Real quick, is there any? So there, how is your relationship with, or how is this? Have y'all been working with the city? Has the city contacted you about any logistics, and how's all that working with the government?
Yeah, the city has actually been pretty great. I think they're trying to get ahead of things as much as they can and try to communicate with the local businesses, so nobody is really shocked with what kind of happens that week.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been in talks with the local police force because we're bringing in our own security team at the end of the day. With how many people are going to be in town, we want everyone to be safe. Not only our staff, but anybody that steps foot through our doors or in our parking lot. So we've been kind of working with them to coordinate communication between the groups. We've been working with the city to kind of confirm what time all of their activities are happening, where the local shuttles will be dropping off and loading in. And then also just making sure, because we're bringing in different food vendors, if there's anything special that we need to communicate with them or the city. So it's really been a big collaborative effort. I think at the end of the day, the city and all the businesses are really just focused on community. How do we make sure that the businesses can still thrive and survive during this and have all the information that they can get ahead of time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's my point of view is that we have to figure out how we can maximize these profits, especially in these events too, especially for our breweries who, again, tough time out there just in general. Okay. So let's not even, before we even get to the seasonality of it and just coming out of January and all that, making sure that we get the biggest bang for a buck, for lack of a better term, is really, really important. I'm glad that y'all are so on it, and that's great. I, of course, now, Jen, I know that your job is to worry about all these details, and I wanted to get them out so people will know. But quite frankly, I'm not really that much interested in. What I'm interested in is the beer. So how is that working? Are we brewing more? Do we have to store more? Yeah, where does all that come in? I see that y'all bringing in people like Jay Henry and stuff like that. So that'll be fun because Jay Henry has amazing whiskey. We all know. It's really right up the street from my house here. I'm there. I wouldn't say all the time, but I'm there a lot. How about that? Yeah, it's beautiful. And then they're really good as far as I don't want to go down this rabbit hole with Jay Henry, but they're really good at working with all kinds of breweries all over the state. You see their barrel age, and you see special beers with them all over. So y'all have some different things going on. But back to y'all's beer, yeah. Brewing schedule ramped up. What do we? Y'all put out a decent amount of beer in general without the NFL draft. So I'm really interested to hear this one.
Yeah, the brew schedule is really interesting to navigate with the team. In our tap room, we have 26 different draft lines, and normally any day of the year you come in, it's 26 different beers. But for the draft, because we want to serve as many people as quickly as we can with product, but we also want to serve them responsibly, because obviously breweries do have some heavy hitting beers. So, you might get the barrel aged ones that, hit a little bit higher. Our goal is kind of to maximize service. So we had to identify which beers we wanted to have on tap for it, make sure that we have enough brewing, while also still maintaining our regular brew schedule, because we still have distributors and accounts that need our regular occurring beer. So our tap room for sure is going to be, instead of 26 varieties, we're going to kind of narrow that down, and we're going to double up some of those lines, especially with our mainstays, like our brewski American light lager, our gold package, golden ale, our Grassy Place Hazy IPA. So those ones that kind of are fan favorites that we know we're going to go through so much of, we're going to try to tame down our lineup so that we can serve as many people. But yeah, we had to communicate. I don't know what it is about this year. I feel like everybody is coming out of the woodwork too, which is great. We love collabs. We love that. But we're getting so many requests, and everybody was like, yeah, let's do this thing in May and in June and July. And we're like, hold up, 3 weeks of April, we're not going to be having a production facility. That space is going to be slowly being converted into kind of a draft wonderland. And also our brew house team is going to be packaging and trying to prep enough product to get us through the draft and get distributors, because we won't be able to have distributors pick up during draft week. We're that close to the madness that it's not going to be accessible. But
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow. So I'm hearing, and y'all do a lot of, y'all do a lot of fun things. I've seen it. I know about it. And what I mean by fun things, y'all, specifically, I mean, fun things with brewery with recipes and like the lower end of y'all's list. At least when I was there, and what I can perceive is these experimental beers, these one-off ones. Sometimes, you know what I mean? These things that, someone will come into your tap room and be like, I really would like y'all to try. Y'all feel like that brewery that like he listens to y'all, your clientele, and y'all execute it. Some of those beers may not be made again for whatever reason. Some of them may become mainstays. That's how it works, y'all. But it's really interesting to hear y'all. I mean, yeah, because I heard the light lager and I was like, oh, where's the hazy? Where's the hazy?
Oh, there's gonna be hazies.
Where's the IPA? Because you gotta have it. You gotta have the IPA for the IPA lovers, and you gotta have other things for the people who don't like them. So then there's this dynamic there. So that sounds fun. So then also y'all are traditionally a place for food. How are y'all dealing with that specifically? I heard food carts, but it's probably more dynamic than that even.
Yeah, so we've always we've really found our niche in the beer world. We, at the end of the day, ownership kind of was like, we want to be really good at something, and we want that something to be beer. So food was never kind of in our end game, but we know that food gets people to stay longer. So we've got a really great community of food trucks and food vendors. So you can come out any Friday, Saturday during summer and spring, and sometimes even winter, because we're all crazy Wisconsinites and we don't stop when it's snowing. And you'll find a food truck on site. So we figured, why not make it an actual Badger State experience? So in our front main lot, we're going to have 7 different local food trucks set up, anywhere from Caribbean food, jerk chicken and plantains, to craft grilled cheese, to barbecue, to your game day brats, burgers, curds. And then we even have a brand new loaded baked potato truck. So there's going to be plenty to eat, plenty of carbs to soak up the beverages while you're having a good time.
Excellent. So now I'm a foodie too. And it's really, it's not that important for me to have food, but it's nice. And it helps because it saves me another stop, because I want to go to another brewery. Then I don't want to, you know what I mean? So if y'all got food, I can eat there and go to another one and eat there. Yeah. So I'm a fan. So, but as I said, I'm really more of a fan of beer. We're Badger Beer, so I got to get back to the beer. So one of the fun things that is that y'all are doing, which I'm sure is adding just another layer of complexity to the whole thing, is I'm about to put something on screen, y'all. But I'm gonna, for the people who are going to hear this in audio, I will give you a description. But it's called 8th Round Downtown Pale Ale, y'all, and it's, well, what is it? I'll let Jen talk about it, because this is y'all more than more than me about it than me. So
so another thing that kind of circles back, I feel like the big conversation that always comes up, especially in Green Bay with craft beer and anywhere that I've seen, is community. So we got this really cool opportunity from the city. They are putting on a Draft City Music Fest It'll be a 2-day event, the draft week. So it'll be the Wednesday as a kickoff of draft week, and then the Saturday of draft week. And they're going to have some large performances down at Light Park in Green Bay. So kind of more in our downtown area. And they wanted to bring together the Green Bay and surrounding area breweries to put together a collab beer that is mostly only going to be available at the Music Fest. So 9 breweries collective, Badger State, us, we were the ones that are brewing the product. And we worked with all 9 breweries. I don't know if you want me to list them or not, but we've got Cocoon Brewing, Noble Roots, Copper State, Anapee. We have Hinterland, Titletown, Stillmank, and Zambaldi. And all of those guys, we got them here about 2 weeks ago into our brew house, and we had a really fun day. Any of you that have ever had like a behind the scenes on a brew day, when you're doing a collab, it is definitely more enjoying in the beverages and kind of standing around and shooting the shit. So it's really fun. It's so cool to get everybody together because we're so busy. So it kind of forced us all to be in the same space at the same time and just enjoy each other's company and enjoy coming together to make this really cool product. It is a pale ale, so it's going to be a universally good drinker for everybody. So whether you like your IPAs, whether you like your lighter beers, you're going to get kind of the best of both worlds in that beer. Each participating brewery, we're going to get a small allocation of draft only to have in our tap rooms during the draft week, but the cans will only be available at the Music Fest.
Okay. So you heard that, you beer traders. You're going to have to go to the fest to get it in order to send me some. Thank you. So real quick side note, if you don't mind, I would like to talk about just a little, you don't really have to go into it, but when you have a collaboration, it's not easy getting everybody to come together, like you said. Also, I would just like to point out that a lot of time, there is some competition in our craft beer community. There definitely is. There's definitely times where people's personalities clash, just like any other industry or anything else. But generally speaking, it's just really nice to see when brewers come together like this. We all come from different, backgrounds. We all come from different, different things affect how we see beer, how we do our things, and for y'all to come together, to do that. And also, there's a common quote, for lack of a better word, fight here, which is, dealing with the event. You know what I mean? So there's a level of, for people who don't know, I would assume that most people know the lay of the land here that are, watching us, but some people may not. There's Hinterland and Badger State, who are very close to Lambeau, y'all. And then at some point, it just gets further and further away. Titletown and Copper State are a little bit further. And then, you go further, and Anapee's kind of out. Anapee and Cocoon are a little bit out. But there's a level of thing, I think, and there's degrees to this, as I love to tell my kids. There's degrees to this, and y'all probably have a steeper curve as far as things that y'all have to execute than Anapee or Cocoon. But I'm pretty sure Cocoon and Anapee are going to get an influx of people. It probably won't be. It definitely will not be the same amount because people won't be going out there. But at the same time, there's degrees to this. So I don't know if you want to talk to that and just talk about your local, how y'all feel about your local, brewing compadres.
Yeah. I always like to say friendly competition. There's got to be an equal level of you have to be competitive. At the end of the day, we're all competing to have similar distributors, get our product out. And, but I think what really helped is we started at the same time as Anapee and Stillmank. So, I think that was kind of our first real deep dive into the industry, was having those two breweries that were kind of coming up along this the same time as us and trying to uplift each other. And through that, there was obviously breweries that had been there before. There was, Hinterland and Titletown that kind of paved the way in the area. Copper State came after that and so forth. we all have our specific types of product that we brew. We all have our different kind of like niche areas that we're in, and we're really finding I know it's probably not like this with every craft brewing community or area,
Yeah.
but we are spread out enough that there's enough business for all of us. And when we do get the chance to get together, whether it's for our annual Edward 40 hands, we can talk about that another time, competition, or if it's just for like doing a collab brew, we're more often than not always going to say yes. It's just a really fun time, and it's cool to see everybody's clientele get excited about it, because I do think that everybody thinks there's this like constant underlying competition or like but it's really not like that. It has its moments, and obviously personalities can clash at times, but I think that just makes it more human.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that in Wisconsin we have breweries that are competitive, quote, like that are close. I can confirm. We will not go to names. We're good on that. And also, lastly, we would love to collab with y'all. So if there's any kind of way we can, we would absolutely love it. That would make me go to Green Bay and enjoy all y'all's breweries up there, because y'all all bring something different, like you just said. Really, they literally do, y'all.
Yeah, they do.
So right, and there's some similarities with the beers, of course, in the styles that are brewed, because generally northern Wisconsiners drink. I think we won't be able to touch this in it. We're gonna have Jen back, y'all. Hopefully, whenever she wants. But northern Wisconsin brewers drink different styles than southern Wisconsin brewers. People are like, wow, that's weird. It's not really weird, but if you knew Wisconsin and the lay of the land, you would probably understand it. But so we're gonna wrap up here soon, Jen. I wanted to thank you for joining us and giving us this insight. One of the last things I would like to ask you is well, the last question will be, do we miss anything? The second last question is, how can your client, your how can they help? What do y'all have to say to y'all's community with the influx of people coming from literally 50 states coming in for that week? How can they help? What should they do? All that.
First of all, just thank you. Thank you to the community in general and for being interested in what we do. I think how you can show up for us or the craft brewing like community in Green Bay, it varies on how you're feeling. If you're from Green Bay and you're like, there is no way I'm going near that mass crowd, come out the week before, buy some beer to go, or go to some of our local breweries that are maybe a little bit out of the way. Cocoon is fantastic. Anapee's wonderful. Stillmink, Zambaldi. Those are all great ones that you can go and visit that I think they're still definitely going to be busy, but you might be more, there might be ample or like space for you to kind of sit down and enjoy yourself. But otherwise, grab beer to go. If you're coming to town for the draft, please stop by. Come say hi, have a drink. We, as a token of a thank you to a lot of our community members, if they signed up for our 2025 Badger membership, our Badger Club, they're getting special wristbands the week of the draft, so that they're not going to, they're going to get like reduced pricing on draft beers during that week. And that's our thank you for them being regular customers. And we also are potentially going to reopen up for one day only additional sales for our membership, so that people can get in on that bracelet if they would like, and they're coming to town. But yeah,
excellent.
Come out, and stay home, but drink
is
beer.
This guy going to be ready?
That's going to be ready. The tap truck is going to be out on Lombardi, on the Lombardi facing side of the business, and you can grab a beer as you're walking into the draft.
Okay. And then this little one that you sent me here, and then this is another. That's our container bar. That's outside in our beer garden. So that'll be open. You can grab cans while you're out there. Yeah. Okay. And then, lastly, before I promise this is my second last question.
You're fine.
So lastly, really quick, just a quick sum up of this. So y'all will have this on tap during the event or during the whole draft until it goes, because it's going to go, and then you can only get cans down at the event is what. But please go do that again so people know for sure.
So each of the breweries is going to be able, they're going to have a small allocation of draft. So what that means is we might have a quarter barrel, we might have a half barrel, but that's all each brewery is going to get maximum. And when it's gone, it's gone. So we're all going to be putting it on at the start of the draft. I would assume probably on Wednesday or Thursday. We have not fully discussed that yet, but the week of the draft, we would have it on. And then can only won't be available at any of our breweries. It'll be available only at the Draft City Music Fest. That's being held on Wednesday and Saturday at Light Park during the draft week.
Gotcha. And that's just going to be, food trucks, more beer, music, just celebration, just chilling out. All right. I hope so number one, I really hope for good weather. It's touch and go in April, y'all. Like, y'all don't know how it's touch and go here in Wisconsin. Here down in Madison. And you could literally have anything from like 70 degrees to hail. And you could also have that within 24 hours. So I don't, right? So I hope that y'all have because any kind of beer event when it's messy out, it's just not. I mean, it's great because a lot of our people are troopers. They'll be out there. Like the Green Bay people will be out there. Now, you coming from Florida or you're an Atlanta Falcon fan and somehow you're up here. Again, we wish you luck. Maybe we can get maybe the thrift stores will do good, Jen, because then people will be in there buying like coats and stuff.
The pro shop, people are just gonna be like jackets and raincoats, come with layers.
All right, Jen, I wanted to thank you for joining us. But is there anything that I missed, because I probably did, that you wanted to talk about as far as the draft process, how people can help, what's going on at Badger State? Anything that we missed, or you want to sum up?
I feel like we touched on it all. We're just really excited to see people and serve you. So if you come out and you recognize my face, I'll be behind the bar. Say hi, be nice, have a good time, and enjoy Green Bay.
Excellent. And I can say go Packers, right? We can say go Packers here. I
think so. Why not?
Okay. All right. I'm not necessarily a Packer fan, but doing this, I'm a Packer fan.
I shouldn't probably admit I'm not a big ball sport person. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm like, oh, okay, but don't tell me.
Oh, look at you, all spoiled literally under the hollowed halls of football. And
I know.
You see it every day. Actually, the one picture that we have, I think you can see the top of Lambeau, the broadcast booth or whatever it is. That is just a great perspective. It's just funny because when I see the picture, I'm like, it's Lambeau, you know what I mean? And you're just like, it's Lambeau, it's cool. I mean, not really just, but it's almost like the people in Colorado with the mountains. I'm a mountain guy. You just see the mountains. You're like, the mountains, they're always there. And I'm like, I can't stop looking at them. They're beautiful. What are we doing?
Yep.
Anyway, thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
And good luck. We'll talk to you. Maybe we can do a post recap of so how did it go? I will wait at least 2 weeks or a month after to send a media request.
Appreciate it.
Okay.